Good evening, everyone. Warm welcome to all XENA members and especially the new ones. I hope you enjoyed this talk. My thanks to XENA for giving me the opportunity to talk about a subject that I'm very passionate about. Thank you. Now, uh, today's talk is going to be very focused, but I'm not going to do 6 and 7 topics shows to cover all the nuances. It's not easy to do. What people need to understand are the principles behind what I am going to say. Then you can apply your own knowledge experience to decide what is what and where is this. Now, I get a lot of calls from people who say, sir, I'm using remedies for 1 year, 6 months, no effect. And every time I'll find out that their practitioner has given them an anonymous mix of 7 remedies and said, come back next month. Don't even call me in between. This is not only wrong, but it's dangerous. Yesterday, one lady told me very clearly that she was taking a weekend holiday with her husband, and some remedy she took freaked her out so badly in the car that she was afraid she'll jump out of the car. Now, that is why one should never give remedies without explaining to the client what you're giving, why you're giving it, and whether they want it, whether they can handle the emotions at that moment. It is not a negative effect of the remedy. It is just an effect that you may not be prepared to handle. So this thing of just dumping 7 remedies, I get a lot of people from the US who insist I must have 7 remedies at least in my mix. And to them, my answer is, I'm sorry. It's like coming to a traffic signal with 4 or 5 policemen, each one directing you in a different way. What is the brain going to do if you give it so many signals at one time? It's not correct. Which brings me to the other part of my main part. I've declared this clearly, and you can verify Bach remedies are energy remedies. You will feel them even if you apply them to your hands. And there is one characteristic of all energy in that it has a wavelength. And waveforms are known to interfere or complement each other. That is what your noise cancelling headphones are based on. They put out a signal which is the opposite of the background noise they're picking up. And it will cancel the sound out. So there are remedies that you should never use with each other. And vice versa, there are remedies which enable the other remedy to do its job. In the first case, as an example, if someone genuinely needs the remedy holly, you do not give them the remedy hornbeam. It will only aggravate anger. Same with wild rose. Same to some extent with centauri. Don't mix up 2 classes of remedies because they either interfere with each other or they have a negative effect on the other. This is extremely important. That when you're dealing with, say, anger as a primary symptom, all your remedies should be complementary. 3, maybe 4 maximum, and they should all be on a similar wavelength. It's like music. If you play a discordant note, it disturbs the entire harmony. You cannot do this with Bach remedies. This indiscriminate use of 7 remedies is wrong on every front. Okay. Now comes another critical aspect of this. How do remedies synergize and complement each other? It's simple. Emotions are like that. Today, someone called me up and said, I need to deal with my anger towards my mother-in-law. And I had to ask her, what does this anger come from? Is it you don't like interference? Is it she's saying wrong things about you? Is it that she's interfering with your husband? what exactly are your triggers? Yes, you might suggest holly because I'm getting angry, but the holly needs to be supported. Very often with willow feeling like a victim, beech being judgmental, chicory, which is a form of uh, anger in its own, then the holly remedy can do its job. The three together are more powerful than each individually because they are in the same harmony, they are in the same key, and they are achieving the same goal, that is, reducing the cause of the anger. So you cannot avoid. I know most practitioners don't even spend half an hour in discussion, you know, and I think it's very wrong because you need to understand not only what the emotions are, but what is the cause behind that emotion. And I often get comments from people saying, "Oh, wow, I'm feeling brilliant. I tried this before, it didn't work." I said, "No, you were missing this key remedy." Now, one classic case in point is fear. Fear always has its origins in the past. Walnut is the remedy to release past negative effects. I had one leader who's lady who's actually a teacher saying, "Oh, I've taken Mimulus for 2 years because of my fear of flying." And that evening, leaving India, was she full of fear. That Mimulus does not work on its own. It needs a walnut before that. Walnut kind of loosens up the memory, breaks the link with that negative memory. And then the Mimulus can do the job on the fear of flying. I have friends who get over that fear of flying in 7 days, 10 days. 2 years, that's because that person is not facing the event that led to this fear in the first place. So, very often, walnut is a precursor to other remedies. You give walnut and then you give mimulus. Or if there is an accident or shock in their life, walnut plus rock rose. If there is a trauma of losing somebody dear, then walnut plus star of Bethlehem. And if there is any event that may have angered you, then walnut plus holly. So walnut allows the next remedy to do its job. This is it runs through the entire use of Bach remedies. So if you're finding you're not getting the effect you hope, one, please cut down from 7 remedies to 3 or 4. Two, look on how to support the primary remedy. This is very critical. It keeps coming up in so many different ways. Willow will always support the chicory state. Okay. I very often give gorse. Gorse is a remedy for hope, as different from faith. Hope is very lovely emotion. But if a person is not able to sustain their hope, the process of healing also slows down. So first thing you need to do is build up hope in the person. Yes, I'm going to get well. Okay. And then they have the energy to start healing. There are some remedies like mustard, along with gorse, which act as catalysts. Star of Bethlehem is one of them. So I call them precursors. They are to be given to open up the emotional system so that other remedies can do their job. This is important to remember, if especially if you're finding that you're taking remedies but you're not getting the desired effect, you need to be a little flexible, look at what you're doing, and understand that you're missing a key enabler or a key element of that emotion that you're trying to fix. So, like I said, holly is a remedy for a very broad subject, anger. But holly may need acid beech and willow. Holly may need wine for controlling people, rock water for very rigid people, correct? Vervain for people who are passionate and angry about their beliefs. Always look at what lies behind that emotion. Today, I was telling someone, I said, you're getting very concerned about someone visiting you. Break up your response to two things. One, what are your triggers, independent of who the person is? For example, I have a trigger. I don't like it when uneducated, untrained people try to give me lectures on how an AC works or how Wi-Fi works. Very common, very irritating. It's my trigger. It's got nothing to do with who the person is. Correct? The other is, what is it about this person that causes triggers you to get reactive? You must change that reaction. You may not be able to change the person or their behavior. So what you can do is change your reaction to it. Once again, the importance of knowing why. Why are you behaving a certain way? What are your triggers? And then specifically deal with those. My teacher loved to tell me, Ashok, a sniper's rifle is much better than a machine gun. Don't fire at random and try to hit 7 different symptoms and this thing all at one time. Pick the most important of the emotions the person is feeling. Deal with that one emotion till it's over. It can take only 2 days, sometimes 4 days, and then that settles down. Sometimes it takes longer, but not always. Then go to the next emotion. Then go to the next emotion. Make a hierarchy. Deal with the most critical first, one by one by one. Do not attempt to deal with all emotions at one time. It just doesn't work. My daughter once asked me, Papa, why do I need my left hand on the guitar? Can't I just play all the strings at one time? I said, no, bacha, you'll get noise. You won't get music. That is exactly what happens with this abuse, I call it, of the fact that, okay, remedies may not be harmful in terms of how much you take. So it's okay, you mix 7. One guy, crazy guy says, no, I mix 18 of them. Hey, good for you, yeah. Won't argue with such people. So the importance of using complementary remedies, using a few remedies, is part of the learning of being a practitioner. If you don't go into this area of targeted emotions and the causes behind the emotions, you won't get the results that Bach remedies are capable of delivering. And somebody will call me and say, what a waste of my money. 6 months and nothing has happened. And then they get results in 2, 3 days and they're shocked. How come? I said, well, Bach remedies work very quickly if you select them correctly. This random thing is not a good thing. Now, in this area of complementary remedies, I do want to emphasize on remedies that should not be combined. I mentioned hornbeam with holly. But really what I'm saying is anytime there is anger in a person, don't give them hornbeam. Even if they complain of being tired, even if the symptom matches, because it is only going to cause conflict. Number of these remedies, agrimony, centauri, uh, hornbeam, wild rose, there's a couple of them, are to be avoided. In my book, I refer to them as hard remedies. These are remedies that push you. Wild oat is a classic remedy that should be used with care. If a person, it's for crossroads in your life, it's for big decisions, divorce, change your job, XYZ. But if you're not ready for that decision, do not take wild oat. It will push you. Someone called me last year in the middle of COVID and said, I don't know what I was given by this practitioner. But within 3 days, I was ready to resign from my 18-year-old job. Agreed, she was not very happy with the job. But you've been 18 years in a multinational, it's not that easy to make a change. And certainly not in the middle of COVID. Thank God she said, no, I held back. I stopped taking that particular mix. I'm okay now. I don't have to resign right now. I'm not under that much stress. I was just getting bored. So she must have mentioned to the practitioner, oh, I'm thinking of changing my job. So she was given a remedy that would push her to change her job. That is something I regard as unethical. It's not for the practitioner to take that decision on behalf of the person. It's when the person says, I'm ready for this decision. Now help me push me over the edge. So I take it and I stick with it. That's when you give wild oat and stir anise. Otherwise, you don't give these two remedies easily. Not in the early days, uh, and not unless you have dealt with other issues first. I say the same with agrimony. It's for suppressed emotions. That emotion is 90% anger. First, deal with the underlying emotion for 2, 3, 4 weeks, and then give agrimony. It's a beautiful remedy. It is very necessary, especially in cases of addiction of any kind. But you don't give that remedy carelessly. You give the remedy after preparing the person to accept that remedy. So I said I can't reiterate this often enough, and I don't want to complicate the issue because every remedy has an interaction with every other remedy. The permutations are enormous. Only your experience and some common sense will tell you what will mix. So if you need to deal with fear, then there are certain things to deal with. Incidentally, Mimulus for fear is never to be given to people with suicidal tendencies. Mimulus deals with the fear of death. And it could very well be that this person takes too much Mimulus and decides to jump over the balcony. Be very careful giving Mimulus. Similarly, be careful giving rescue remedy to someone who's terminally ill or in a coma. It can work two ways. One, if it's a person's destiny to live, it will pull them out. But if it is not their time to live, rescue remedy will help them go in peace. You, and I tell anyone who asks me, I said, you who are the family and the caregivers, you must take the decision whether you give rescue remedy or you don't give. In most cases, depends on the age, health, etc. of the person. If it's a younger person, you're safer to do that. If it's a person in their 80s, lots of other medication, long-term chronic distress, be careful. They may have had enough suffering and pain to just want to let go. I've seen this happen. See, most of the stuff I talk about, not most, all, frankly, is what has come out of personal experience. There's parts of it in my book, but all of it can't be in the book. That's why I'm doing these talks, because in conversation one can bring up uh, things that you'd go nuts trying to put on words and writing. But every remedy usually has a friend which enables it. Every remedy usually has an opponent which counters it. You must develop this intuition and understanding from really looking closely at what remedies do and how they do. So, gentian is not described in the book as a remedy for faith. It just says to recover from failure. How do we recover from failure? Because we have faith in ourselves. We have faith that in the next game, the next exam, I will succeed. Gentian is in effect a remedy for fear. Most people don't see that. Most people don't even see that because they only read the words in the book and says, oh, to be taken after failure. It's not so simple. That failure could be because of events beyond our control. That failure could be because we goofed up. That failure could have been chronic failure. Okay. Gentian is a remedy that lets us deal with this because of faith. Because we believe that yes, tomorrow will be a better day. So gentian complements a lot of other remedies because it provides this energy. Gorse complements other remedies. Holly complements other remedies just as much as other remedies complement holly. I think you get the idea. The permutations are just too many to be covered in 1 or 10 talks. You need to understand the dynamics of each remedy, the energy of each remedy, and how this energy can be enhanced by some other remedy or how it can be negatively affected by another remedy. It takes a lot of effort, believe me. This one topic. I spend a hell of a lot of my time in picking the right cocktail mix, same as making cocktails. You mix the wrong ingredient, makes a lousy drink. If you get all your ingredients just right and in the right proportion, you end up with something that's enjoyable to drink. So, only advice I can give here is guys, practice on yourself with each remedy one at a time. Whole evening, take only one remedy, whole day. Observe your changes, your moods, what else comes up, what else the remedy tells you, what that vibration feels like. And then automatically, you will begin to see the correlation that remedy could have with others. And you can test it out. So if you take XYZ on its own, it will have this effect. If you take gentian and then you take XYZ, it will have a different effect. Sweet chestnut is another such remedy. It is for the dark moments in our lives. And if truly you feel that everything is black, everything is dark, nothing is going to work for me, then you're not likely to put in the effort to make things work. And the same will happen to any remedies you take. They won't work because underneath everything else, you believe that this is a bad time for you. Stars are bad, your karma is bad, something is bad. And that negative belief actually defeats a lot of things. So you need to take sweet chestnut sometimes only once or twice, sometimes just for 2 days to release the state of mind. And then the other remedies would all, you know, have a boosted effect. It's not specific to one thing. Sweet chestnut is just a negative state of mind. And you need to clear it. If that is there, if you don't have that state of mind, the sweet chestnut will have no effect. But if it does bring you great relief, then you know you needed this remedy. Many times people will tell me, oh, why are you giving me X remedy? And I say, take it and see, because I know the person well. And they come back and say, oh, wow, I didn't even know that I needed this remedy. So self-awareness, testing, experimenting on yourself is frankly something you owe it to others if you want to give remedies to others. Until you try, in the early days, I would actually take the remedies I was suggesting to someone myself, feel the effect, and only then I would tell the other person, okay, take these 2, 3, 4 remedies together. I would actually take them first. Today, yes, when I pick up the bottle, I can kind of feel the energy. And if any bottle feels like it is out of tune, I'd simply put it down. Your brain has a certain thing to do with this, your logic, your knowledge, and intuition and sensitivity are something of a higher order. You see this with children very often. They can't explain their problem. Even their mother can't explain the problem. I tell the parents, put all the remedies on the bed, let the child play with them, touch them, pick his own remedies, hers. I'm talking about the age of, say, 6 to 12, 14. After that, you expect the uh, teenager to communicate his problem. Every time the child will pick up the right remedies. If it does it diligently, in 2, 3, 4 passes, they will pick up 3, maybe 4, maybe just 2 remedies, which they know actually suit them. And in a sense, these remedies will be complementary because they'll be on the same wavelength. They'll be in the same key. So always think of remedies as what they are. They're energy. Energy is a waveform. Waveforms can complement or they can interfere with each other. Always see if the remedies you're choosing are in harmony. See if the notes are in the same scale. Never take a remedy that is meant to push you when actually you're giving a remedy that is meant to soothe someone. Don't mix holly and hornbeam. Don't mix some of these like holly and olive. I see a lot of people mix these two. It's wrong. Olive is telling you your crisis, your illness is over, take some rest, relax. Is given after a long period of illness, complete exhaustion. Hornbeam is a remedy that says get off your butt and fight. Do this, get there, do that, you know, don't be afraid. So if olive is needed, you must not give hornbeam, and vice versa. The two don't belong. Oak, on the other hand, goes with either of them. It's a remedy for emotional fatigue. So it kind of blends in with both of these. Okay, my time is coming to an end, and that's the message I wanted to get across today. Think of the fact that a chessboard has 16 pieces. In Bach remedies, there are 38 pieces. And therefore, the permutations, combinations are enormous. You have to build up your ability to read the patient, to understand the emotions. And that's why I'm against 25-year-olds being taught Bach remedies so that they can earn some money. They don't have the life experience, they don't have the maturity, they don't have the empathy most times for them to be treating other people's illness. Because all these factors come into play. And certainly a hell of a lot of work. So that you can read the book and the book says, oh, this, and then, as one lady said, I don't even bother. My assistant listens to the recording, picks the remedies, we make a courier, we send it. I get my money. Okay, that's the end of it. Thanks very much. Thanks, Rajiv. I think it's at 4:20. I should